Okay guys, welcome to chapter 9, lesson 3. So far we have solved linear equations with two variables. That means if I say x plus y equals 10 and 2x minus y equals 5, you can tell me what x and y are through the graphing method or through the substitution method. If you need to, look back over 9.1 and 9.2 for review. Okay, now what we're going to do in this lesson is do some problem solving using the system of linear equations. Okay, you're going to love this stuff. Okay, here's John. He's got 15 coins. The coins that he has are all dimes and quarters. So no pennies, no nickels. And altogether, it is worth $2.55. Now the question is, how many dimes does he have? How many quarters does he have? Well, we've solved problems like this before using one variable, but now we're going to use two variables. Since we don't know how many dimes or quarters we have, I'm going to say that D is equal to the number of dimes. That's easy to remember. And Q is equal to the number of quarters. Okay, now we have to make two equations. If you have two variables, you need two equations. So one equation is the number of dimes plus the number of quarters has to equal 15 coins, because he's got 15 coins, only dimes and quarters. So that's equation number one. Equation number two is going to say something like, related to the total. So the dimes are 10 cents each. 10 cents for every dime. And 25 cents for every quarter. And together, that should equal $2.55. I've got two equations with two variables. Now I'm going to change this to get rid of the decimals. So instead of working with dollars, I'm going to work with pennies. So rewrite my first one and rewrite my second one. 10D plus 25Q is 255. Okay, now we have two equations with two variables and we're going to solve. I'm going to solve this one by substitution. So I'm going to change this one to D is equal to 15 minus Q. Then I'm going to plug it in over here. So instead of 10D, I'm going to put 15 minus Q. Plus 25Q is equal to 255 cents. Okay, so 10 times 15 is 150. 10 minus 10Q plus 25Q is equal to 255. 150 plus 15Q is equal to 255 minus 150. Okay, 15Q is equal to 105. And then I divide 15. So Q will equal, how many quarters? 7. Okay, then I can plug this back in up here, and I get 7 plus 8. So he's got 8 dimes, and we solved it. 8 dimes and 7 quarters. Let's try another one. The hardest part on these is going to be setting things up. So we had a coin problem. Now let's talk about Ann and Betty. Here's Ann, and she, together with Betty, has $60. Now Ann has more money. She has $9 more than twice Betty's amount. And then the question is, how much does Ann have and how much does Betty have? Well, let's assign some variables. We have two variables. We'll make two equations. Let's say that Ann is A. And Betty So A is the dollars that Ann has. B is the dollars that Betty has. Okay, so we know that Ann's money plus Betty's money is $60. We also know that Ann's money is 9 more than twice Betty's. So there we go. We have two equations with two variables. Now this one's already equal to A, so I'm going to go straight substitution. So 9 plus 2B plus B is equal to 60. So 9 plus 3 Betty's is 60. Minus 9 equals 51. Divide by 3. B is equal to, what is it? 17. Yeah, $17 is what Betty has. And then Ann is going to have, what is that? $43. 9 more than twice as much. There we go. Whoop. Okay, so Betty's got 17, Ann's got 43. Done. Let's do one more. This guy's investing in stocks and bonds. You know about that. Don't forget your formula. Principal times a rate is equal to the interest. Principal is the amount of money that you invest in the bank or that you borrow. Rate is a percentage, how much it grows or loses. And interest is the amount of money earned off of the principal. So, here's this guy, John Woo. He's a nice guy. He has invested $8,000 in stocks and bonds. The stocks pay 4% interest, and the bonds pay 7% interest. Now, if his annual income from the stocks and the bonds is $500, how much is invested in bonds? So the annual income is $500. And the question is, how much in stocks and how much in bonds? Okay, well, let's just say that S is equal to the money in stocks. B is the money in bonds. Now, we need to get our two equations. Well, I think we can handle that. After all, it's not too bad. Let's take S plus B, equation number 1, is equal to 8,000. Because the money in stocks and bonds has to equal 8,000. Then the second equation, the amount invested here times this, the amount invested times this, plus the amount invested times this, has to equal this. So, we have 4% of the amount invested in the stocks, plus 7% of the amount invested in the bonds has to equal $500 for that year. There we go. We have two equations and two variables. Let's multiply this by 100. 4S plus 7B equals 50,000. That way we don't have to worry about the decimals anymore. Then, okay, so this is the new equation 2. Then equation 1 is going to be S equals 8,000 minus B. And that way we can substitute. And 4 times 8,000 minus B plus 7B equals 50,000. Okay. 32,000 minus 4B plus 7B equals 50,000. Minus 32,000 from both sides. We have 3B equals 18,000. B equals $6,000. So $6,000 invested in bonds, and S would be $2,000 because it had $8,000 total. Okay, you guys start your assignment and let me know if you have any questions.